This audio horror series contains themes of horror and adult themes. Viewer discretion is highly advised. You have been warned. Wrath is uncontrollable anger, a storm of violence that consumes and destroys. It feeds on hate, leading people to harm others with words or actions, blinded by their own fury. For those overtaken by wrath, care little for consequences, as their desire for revenge eclipses all reason. For one person staying in the Heltrian Hotel, one item in their room, will be their undoing, to feed on their anger and rage. I call this tale Wrath, the Mask of Ione. In the autumn of 1962, the Heltrian Hotel stood proudly, its halls alive with a buzz of travelers passing through. One night, Alan Bowers, a businessman with a temper as quick as lightning, checked into room 405. His long day of frustration weighed on him. The missed meetings, the rude staff, the stalled deal. Everything seemed to conspire against him. As he unpacked, he noticed something strange on the wall. Hanging above the bed was an ancient wooden mask with an unsettling sneer. Its sharp teeth, bulging eyes, and fierce horns radiated something Alan couldn't place, an aura that drew him closer. A small plaque beneath it read, "Oni mask, do not touch." The Japanese mask was from another world, and yet its rage mirrored his own. Without thinking, Alan's fingers grazed the surface, tracing the deep grooves of the demon's face. That night, he dreamed of fire and screams. He woke in a cold sweat, convinced it was only a nightmare. But the feeling of eyes on him lingered. The air in the room had grown thick, suffocating, and the temperature had dropped sharply, like cold breath on his neck. Alan could feel it, a presence, something watching from the dark corners. A low growl reverberated through the room, like the distant rumble of thunder. He dismissed it as his overworked mind playing tricks. But as he lay back down, the shadows shifted, and there, in the dim light from the window, the outline of a figure stood at the foot of the bed. The figure was tall, impossibly tall, with skin the color of burnt ash and fiery red eyes. Its horns scraped the ceilings, and its gnarled hands clenched as if preparing to rip something creature's mouth twisted into the same sneer as the wooden face hanging on the wall. Alan froze, his heart thundering in his chest. Vioni did not speak, but his eyes burnt with a hatred Alan knew all too well. Rage, pure and unrelenting. He scrambled out of bed and ran for the door, but it slammed shut before he could reach it. The creature moved closer, its massive steps making the floorboards creak under its weight. Alan's anger, the same anger that had ruined countless relationships, now bubbled to the surface again. He screamed at Vioni. His fury exploded like a dam, breaking as if his wrath could fight the monster off. But Vioni fed on it. With each shout, each curse, the creature grew stronger, larger, and its chest, heaving with energy drawn from Alan's own rage. The walls began to close in, and Alan's vision blurred as the room twisted into a hellish landscape of endless fire and torment. Vioni raised its massive hand and pointed to the mask still hanging above the bed, untouched, unscathed. Your wrath, Vioni finally spoke, in a deep, guttural tone, is mine now. Alan fell to his knees, trembling, as the creature lunged. The last thing he saw before darkness consumed him was Vioni's wide, sneering mouth stretching impossibly wide, swallowing his soul whole. The next morning, the room was empty, the bed perfectly made, the Vioni mask hung innocently on the wall. When the cleaning staff entered, they found no trace of Alan Bowers, except for a faint smell of smoke in the air, and a new twisted face in the grooves of the mask. The hotel locked up room 405, but those who worked there knew anyone who touched the mask would face the wrath of the demon within, and no one escaped Vioni.